and some good comedy as well, because this is a comedy horror after all, and it's from John Landis. Why, hello there YouTube and welcome back to 31. So we're on day 6 of 80s week and it's day 15. So nearly halfway through now. So today I am reviewing the 1981 Lyco classic, An American Werewolf in London. So this is the classic that was written and directed by John Landis, and of course we featured a movie with him, with his involvement back in the first week, Michael Jackson's Thriller in Vincent Price week. In this, you know the story, two American backpackers are travelling through the Yorkshire moors until they come across a small village with a strange pub called the Slaughtered Lamb. They get eyed up by the locals and then they're told by them to stick to the road and beware the moors, where they encounter a werewolf, and the local villagers manage to kill the werewolf, but not before it kills Jack and harms David. And of course we all know that David is then cursed and has only days to kill himself, to kill the curse, before it's the full moon and he's haunted by his friend Jack. And then of course he ignores that and then turns into a werewolf and goes on a vicious rampage around London. So that's the story there. So what did I like about this? You know what? I just love this film so much. It is one of my favourite werewolf movies ever. It's definitely up there with Dog Soldiers. Probably my second favourite werewolf movie with Dog Soldiers. And this is an American-British film, and I love the British aspect of it. I love the title, how it does what it says on the tin. There's an American guy in London who is a werewolf, and we get to see some of the landmarks like Trafalgar Square. And we get a good soundtrack as well, and a good score, and some saucy scenes in there, and some good comedy as well, because this is a comedy horror after all, and it's from John Landis. That gave us Animal House and the Blues Brothers, and he actually wanted Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi to star as David and Jack. So Dan Aykroyd could have been the American werewolf, but I kind of like that with the people we got in this. Of course, Dan Aykroyd was trying to get Ghostbusters made at the time, and John Belushi was partying hard like every day was his last. But yeah, I like this a lot. I like the cinematography. I liked the iconic transformation sequence. Now, this film did for werewolves what George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead did for zombies, what Bram Stoker's Dracula did for vampires. It gave us the modern trope of the werewolf transformation. Because John Landis, when he was writing this film, he thought, when there's a transformation happening, it's got to be a painful process, the whole body changing shape, the bones breaking and the skull. And he was quite right, and those practical effects, the stop motion, the animatronics, still hold up to this day. And they had no digital or CGI, and that whole transformation's just brilliantly done, especially as it's playing Sam Cooke's Blue Moon along there, and he's just transforming. It's also quite disturbing in some aspects where we see him change. But the werewolf, the finished beast, looks actually good. It's all practical, it's all puppetry and that, and looks, well, kind of tacky, but in the good way that I like it. A ferocious animal. Of course, we have a few sequences in there, like dream sequences, where he's running naked in the woods and eats a deer, or when he wakes up and he has that monstrous features, and even a bit where some inbred Nazi werewolves attack his house. And then there is also Jack, who he keeps seeing as a ghost throughout the film, and in the end he's just a skeleton. And even all the other people that he slaughtered as well, including the tube station scene. I like that scene. I mean, at first we don't see the werewolf. They do the whole Jaws thing where it allows us, the audience, to use our imagination, and we see glimpses of it, like especially when like the guy's on top of the escalators, and we see a bit of the werewolf creeping through. We see a bit of it. Yeah, it's all nicely done and is regarded as a classic. I even like the pub scene as well, the extras, and now one of them being Rick Mail, who's a big British comedic act. People across these may know him as Drop Dead Fred. Also, the bit where they walk into the pub, the slaughtered lamb, and the locals stop looking at them. That has actually gone on to be known as the American Werewolf, because in the part of England that I'm from, which is Yorkshire, if a stranger walks into a pub and everybody stops what they're doing and looks at them, that is called an American Werewolf, or the American Werewolf. It's a very rare occurrence, but I have seen it happen once when I was in a pub, drinking, and that was some of the local people that were mainly old people. Some young people did walk into the pub, and a lot of them did stop what they were doing and looked, because they were being loud and rowdy. That was the American Werewolf. Like I said, a rare occurrence, and I've only ever seen it happen once, but it does exist. So, an American Werewolf in London. What am I going to rate this one? You know what, it's an easy one for me. It gets 5 stabs out of 5 because it just does, because I love it. So there's your review for today, and there's there's day 5 of 80s week. So join me tomorrow, where I will be reviewing one more film for 80s week. Not only that, it's day 16, so we're on the halfway point tomorrow, so yeah, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. So until then, don't have nightmares.